Hi there, welcome to the latest edition of Red Army TV here in Yaffsgath. Got two fantastic guests in the snug. Last week we said, was it going to be 3 points? Well, I'll tell you, I've got a little news for you. It's 4. Two fantastic guests. Got Mr. Chris Joseph, big Boro fan, and the legend that is Mr. Dave Roberts, sat in having a chat all things Boro. Fellas, good evening.
Legend in my own living room, mate, that's all. I keep telling you that week in, week out.
Lots to talk about. Look, I stood here last week, again with two fantastic guests, and said, look, 3 points, is it a must, things like that. And we're going to be chatting about 4. Let's go on to and have a chat first of all. Boro 1, Charlton 0. Dave, did we dominate that game?
Yeah, a lot better performance than I was expecting. We got the early goal, I was hoping for more. Didn't happen, didn't turn out that way in the end. But look, you can't look a 3-pointed gift horse in the mouth, can you? No matter how they come. Yeah. I'd take it if it come off the referee's backside, to be honest. But no, it was a great start of the game. We played well. Youngsters performed, which is good because that's the way we're going. Make no bones about it. I'm sure we'll talk about the rumours about West Ham and Darren Randolph. It looks like that's what our direction's going to be. So to see the youngsters come out and do well, pleasing.
And Chris, did you expect to beat Charlton at home?
Well, I didn't. I wasn't sure, to be honest, because they were, 3 or 4 points ahead of us. And you think to yourself, for all your people say, oh, you should beat teams like that. Well, they were 3 or 4 points ahead of us. They were actually ahead of us. And you know what I mean? And obviously, whatever Woody says, the table doesn't lie sometimes. And no. I think at the end of the day, I wasn't expecting. I wasn't quite sure whether to beat them, we were going to beat them or not. But in the end, I think I agree with Dave. I mean, we would have taken the result. I would have given my right arm for that result.
Hey, boom. But look, I mean, we'll chat about the Savile goal very shortly. But like you say, Dave, young kids in the frame. But both sides hit with injuries, aren't they? Because Charlton, although started the season very well, and you're right, Chris, that's why they're a couple of points. They were a couple of points ahead of us. Started the season really well, Dave. But just like us, ravaged with injury as well.
Yeah, but our problems aren't because of injury. Injuries don't help our situation, but they're not. For me, they're not the cause of it. I would say probably more of a factor for Charlton. But Chris is dead right. Woody's dead right. The league table doesn't lie, and every team will go through injury problems. Every team will go through unrest in the camp, illness, whatever it happens to be. You've just got to roll your sleeves up and get on with it. And I'm pleased to say we did. This week we have, and we've pulled 4 points out, much needed 4 points.
Early goal as well, Chris, which at the Riverside, although we tend to beat teams, if we're going to beat teams at the Riverside 1-0. Early goal though, did it surprise you?
Well, managers often say that you can score too early in a game, and I thought, oh no, we've scored too early. But at the end of the, as Dave said, we absolutely dominated that first half. We should have knocked in a hatful. Yeah. And Charlton were not just depleted. I turned to my friend and I said, if we're going to beat anybody today, we should, beat anybody and thrash them. This is the opportunity to do it. And we both agreed that goal difference, it could be very useful for goal difference to have knocked in a hatful against Charlton. Again, fortunately, they were so disorganised they didn't know what they were doing. But at half time, I'm sure their manager gave them an absolute rollicking, and they came out and did a little bit better in the second half. Yeah. We still dominated the game, I think.
And let's not forget, we've just shipped 4 in against Leeds. Yeah. So that could have knocked the end in for half a dozen of the players. And it didn't seem to, and that was a pleasing thing to come out of it as well, because you've just been battered, you've just been hammered. Maybe a bit of realism crept into the dressing room, which is, look where they are. They look destined to be going into the Premier League, probably the strongest team. It's one of 2, isn't it? Strongest team in the league. So maybe that 4-0 defeat wasn't had as much of an impact on the performance.
And it's about bouncing back, isn't it? And we spoke last week. One of my guests last week sat where you guys are. He said 1-0. Now I said 4-0, right? Because I'm the forever optimist. But as soon as that goal went in the first minute, Dave, I'm thinking, a bit like you, Chris, I'm thinking, there's a team here going to get a hiding. What were your thoughts after the first minute?
Similar thoughts to Hull City. I thought we were going to give them a hiding, but obviously then the red card changed that game. Yeah, I was hoping to give them a hiding, but you know, we're the Boro. We're not having the best of seasons.
I think
things don't go our way.
I mean, in terms of dominating the game, we did give them a hiding. It's just we didn't score the goals.
Yeah, but we need goals.
That's
what we need.
We didn't give them the actual points on the board.
It's like teams who play well but don't win games.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they'll struggle.
Yeah.
Couple of things on the social media, fellas. Keep your messages coming in on social media. Obviously, we're going out on Facebook Live and Teesside TV, so keep your messages coming in. It's great that you're part of the show. Ian Neesham said, Charlton were terrible, and we were that little much better, but the 3 points are what matters. Ian Neesham's come back on saying we might have a decent Christmas campaign for a change, because generally, Chris, we generally come down with Christmas decorations, don't we? But this year, we'll be looking for the points, won't we?
Yeah, I hope so, and I hope to see Brit back for Christmas, because I was just, you know, because also players tend to go AWOL at Christmas as well with the turkey and the celebrations. So I'm hoping we might see him back. You know, I don't even know the extent of his injury. Do you know more?
Actually, it's a decent point. You haven't followed it up for an update.
No. Well, we'll come on to Brit, because I think he's a massive miss. But look, let's look at the two people who I thought.
Can I just say, Ian, I think has been sniffing the same barmaid's apron as you have. You with your 4-0 predictions. Ian, we're going to have a good run. West Brom.
West Brom and there for the
Preston,
taking.
both away. Come on.
I think Swansea are there for the take.
Swansea,
after getting stuffed last week.
That's pre-Christmas.
Last
Yeah,
year.
it's pre-Christmas. But the two guys who sort of stood out for me against Charlton, obviously Jed Spence.
Yeah.
We've got to chat about him. And obviously we'll come on to Forest a little bit later on. But Jed Spence, obviously making his debut. Dave, is it the naivety in a player when he makes his debut that makes us in the stands sit back and think, why aren't we all just having a run at players?
Well, Coulson was the same. Remember when Coulson made his appearance?
Yeah.
Not so long ago. He's become part of the furniture now, hasn't he? But you know, everybody's looking at Coulson and going, "Wow, look at him up and down that wing. You know, having a go, willing to take people on, run at them." I mean, and we saw the same with Spence. So what's going to be keen for my eye is going to be how Spence performs in the next couple of games.
Yeah.
Can he keep that level of performance up? And if he can, hey, we've got another great one there, another great youngster coming through.
Well, I was chatting about. I'm glad you mentioned Coulson, because Coulson was the other guy. Because I actually thought, Chris, that on both sides of the pitch, we looked exciting against Charlton. You know, it was a breakout way that we could move out. Is that something that has it been forced on us with the injuries, or do you think it's something that it fits into Woody's style of football he wants to play?
I think it's both. It has been forced on us, but at the same time, I mean, that is what we were promised at the beginning of the season. You know, it was going to be the new attacking Boro, and I think what's gone wrong for us is the fact our defence has gone AWOL for the last umpteen months. You know, so I think I like the look of Coulson when he first arrived, and I do like the look of Spence. I mean, I saw Spence in a couple of the cup ties that we played, the Carabao or Carabag Cup or whatever it's called. But I saw him in that, and he looked quite talented in that. So I was just hoping by cropping his dreadlocks a little bit, he hadn't lost his Samson style.
Yeah. And look, we've spoke about Britta Sombalonga on this show and many more. He's got his knockers, he's got his people. He don't think he's done enough for the Boro. Dave, his record speaks for itself theoretically in the Championship, whether he's played for the Boro or other teams. He has a fantastic record. Obviously, the injury against Charlton, we're going to chat about Forest after the break, but how much is he going to be a massive miss for the Boro?
He's going to be a huge miss. I think he's our best striker at the club. Like you say, he's got his knockers. We've not been playing him to his best. I'll say this every week, and I'll continue to say it until we change it. He's not a back-to-goal sort of striker who holds the ball up, just like Negredo wasn't, but that's how we played him in the Premiership with Ido Karanka. Brid's better off, and we've seen it this season, he's better off with Fletcher alongside him. He's a big miss. I know he misses an awful lot of opportunities, but he gets into the right places to be creating an awful lot more opportunities than any other striker we've got. So as much as he misses, he does get his goals. He's our leading scorer. He's better than 1 in 3 in the Championship. Of course, he's a miss.
Yeah. And look, keep your messages coming in on social media. We'll be chatting more Boro after the break. We've got obviously the Forest game to mull over, should we say. Maybe not the best performance. A point down there is
Don't
really
care, got
good.
the point.
But we'll chat about that after the break. Keep your messages coming in. Great to see a couple of new people watching us for the first time tonight. Gary Beckett, Martin Rose, Michelle. Evening, Michelle. Join us after the break on Red Army TV. We're chatting more about the Boro next. Hi there, welcome back to Red Army TV. Got Chris and Dave in the studio chatting all things Boro. Just while we've been on the break there, we've had super duper producer Courtney having a look into the Albrit injury, see if we can delve into it and see how bad it was. And the update we've got, and we've looked at all social media, we've looked at different outlets, is that obviously Britt came out the stadium on Saturday on crutches. Woody's waiting for the outcome of a scan. Now we very well will have that result now. But hopefully, touch wood, gentlemen, it's not looking as bad as first thought.
He did say on Monday, didn't he? He was hopeful that Britt might be able to feature against Forest. Now, that wasn't the case, so obviously the injury is a little bit worse than he thought it was. But, I mean, they're keeping it very, very tight-lipped about
there's nothing
the condition on that injury. You know, we've been looking, and even the Boro Breakdown guys from Red Army Radio, they're normally on top of everything. Even they can't spot anything.
No.
Yeah.
Well, look, that leads us straight into the Forest game, fellas. Obviously, Tuesday night, last Tuesday night, Forest 1, Boro 1. I won't lie to you, fellas. I thought the first half we were there for the take, and I thought we were going to get a drubbing, to be fair. But look, I said right at the top of the show, 4 points from 2 games. I don't think there'll be many teams, Chris, will go down to Forest on a horrible night and get a point. I know we were dire in the first half. What's your thoughts on the game?
Well, I came away. I watched that game last night, and I must admit, I thought I was amazed, and we got it was a bonus point as far as I was concerned. And what I've been doing is looking at the games that we've got in front of us and the teams around us, rather than the teams like Forest and Swansea even at the weekend. We've got to beat the teams around us. I mean, Leeds, getting a drubbing at Leeds might be happy for Leeds and it helps them on their way, and it didn't help us. But at the same time, they're not the teams that we need to beat. It's the teams around us to make sure that we do not in the end of the day get relegated. That's the key thing.
Well, I mean, there was a massive gulf. Looking at the table on Tuesday night, Dave, there was a massive gulf between the Boro and Forest, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Forest, I think top 7, I think, and only going one way. What's your thoughts on the first half? I mean, like I say, I thought the first half, I thought the second half we've done a little bit better, but I never ever seen us get anything out of the game.
It typifies this season as a Boro fan, doesn't it? Because you get a little bit of hope against Charlton performance-wise, and then you go to Forest, and I think we were just effectively getting the bricks and mortar out and trying to block the goal and just saying we'll settle for a 0-0. We'll be happy with the point. We'll be happy with a 0-0, and we just sat back, edge of the 18-yard box, invited Forest forward. We didn't really push them. We didn't try and stretch them. It is the Boro of this season. The Jekyll and Hyde performance.
I think the other thing is going back to your point about Britt and missing Britt. He wasn't there last night. We had Fletch up front, and Fletch is very lightweight up front. He's not built like Britt is.
He's not a lead striker.
He's not a lead striker. When the ball was coming back out up the field from pairs, it was going straight to a Forest man because there was no Brit to actually hold it up or win it or do anything. So, I mean, I think that's why we got bombarded to the extent we did in the first half.
Well, it was a shocking display for me. I really don't like this Boro that sit back and invite the teams to come forward. We've done it so many times, and we're not good enough. You touched on it earlier about the defence. The defence is creaking this season, and we're not good enough at the back to be able to do that because teams will break us down, without a shadow of a doubt. We're going to need all sorts of good fortune to come out with a 0.
Well, towards the back into the show, fellas, we'll have a chat about transfers because people like Ayala could potentially leave the club at the end of the year.
Yeah.
which for me is disastrous at the minute. But anyway, I'm sure we'll come on to that. You touched on something there, Chris. Obviously, Britt didn't feature, Tavernier and Fletcher theoretically were the two front runners. I don't know about you, gentlemen, but Tavernier for me is not a striker.
Yeah.
And he a bit like Fletcher, Chris, too lightweight as well.
Well, Tavernier gets into some interesting positions, but he's shot shy. He doesn't like to have a shot. He always lays it off to somebody, and maybe that's what he's been told to do. But he does get up the field very quickly, but usually there's nobody with him when he does it. So.
And I don't know what the people out there think, and please get in on social media and tell me. I think Tavernier's passing yesterday was terrible. I don't think he got a ball into the box. I don't
It's
think
not
he beat
great
the
at the
first
best of
man.
times,
He
mate.
takes our corners.
Yeah.
And I don't think we ever get it past the first man, or if it does, it sort of drops short. I think we've got one
But he has
ball
a shot, doesn't he? He seems to have a shot instead of actually from the free kicks and stuff near the goal line. He'll shoot and at the most ridiculous and acute angles.
It ponders the question, Dave, of why Pulis, after coming out and saying, I think I should play Tavernier more, and then never, maybe he knew all along.
Maybe he did, but it's not just Tav. I think our distribution of the ball from set players and open players has been poor this season. We give possession away too easily. The long balls we try, if one comes off, there's a round of applause. Most of the time, it doesn't. I think it's one of those areas that has to improve.
Yeah.
But look, we went to Forest. We got a point.
Yeah, that Dave is the big thing.
Yeah,
Bonus point.
it's a massive bonus point. It's just a pity it took us conceding a goal for us to breathe any sort of life into us going forward. But it did, and we got the pen, and
Well,
it was
say,
put away nicely.
after they scored their goal, we started playing like Barcelona.
Yeah, we started.
You were wondering where was all that before the goal.
You wonder how players think, don't you? Before we come on to the penalty, though, let's just have a quick look on social media what the guys are sending us. John Brady saying, I wish the players were all on pay-as-you-play.
Yeah, good.
Based on performance on games, game by game, I think Coulson would be one of the top earners.
Yeah.
Quite possibly. Brian, MFC Pape, what position do you think is priority to strengthen when the window opens? Midfield, someone with pace, or a striker to help chip in with the goals? Dave, I'll pose that one to you.
I think it's a moot point. I think it's a moot question because I don't think we'll be strengthening when the window opens. I think the biggest fear is who might go. I don't think we're in a. I honestly don't believe we're in a position to be able to go out and spend money. Or if we do, it's going to be another Bowler, Brown type, Jick Steele, young player, take a gamble on playing at low level, see if they can make it in the Championship. I don't think the resources and the hunger to spend big bucks is there anymore, and that's sad.
It is sad.
Chris,
Chris,
does anybody know where we are with Randolph?
Well, we're going to come on to that because I've got a great message off Michelle Bestford, which I'm going to come on to. But
Evening, Michelle.
Evening, Michelle. John Brady's come on and said, is this team any stronger than Strachan's? Because I'm not convinced. Chris, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it is stronger than Strachan.
I don't like to mention that word, Strachan.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need to go home and do what Strachan said we Teessiders do after a match.
Yeah, exactly.
It is slightly stronger because of the personnel. Yeah. I think with the likes of Assombalonga, the likes of Ayala, the likes of McNair, the likes of Howson, and obviously Randolph at the back, giving you that spine. I think we are stronger than the Strachan team, but we're getting to a point where it's weakening by the week.
Before we come on to the rumours, fellas, and obviously before we start wrapping up, but I just want to talk about the penalty. I'm going to come to you first, Chris, because I'm going to pose the same question to you both guys. Was it a penalty? And I know we're Boro fans, so we'll always say it was. Was it a penalty? Because some of the media down in Nottingham didn't think it was, looking at the replay. And should that defender have been sent off, Chris?
I think I'm unsure. I only saw the incident once, so I don't know whether it's a penalty or not. To be honest, I've seen it on the telly tonight, and I'm still not sure. I think at the end of the day, the defender did bring the man down, so perhaps he should have been sent off. But we were only about 15 minutes from the end by that point, weren't we? So.
Dave, were your referee's hat on?
Soon as the whistle blew, I said, and red card. because I know the rules changed, laws have changed in regards to a defender bringing down, tackling, bringing down a striker in the penalty area. But it's if you make a genuine attempt to play the ball, and I don't think it was a genuine attempt to play the ball. I think he tripped the guy without making a genuine attempt to tackle, in which case it's denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Some people will argue he was going across at an angle. The general pattern of play was the Boro moving forward towards the goal. Yes, he was running on a bit of a diagonal with the ball to get onto it, but that was only to round the keeper and put the ball in the back of the net. So for me, it was a red card. Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, it was definitely a penalty and he should have been sent off. Yeah. But anyway, look, we're vastly running out of time very quickly, fellas. Darren Randolph, it's in the press, it's on social media. West Ham coming sniffing, Dave.
Be devastating if he goes for 5 million.
I'll be devastated as well, and I think the
white flag will be waving from the
We'll
riverside.
be selling the paddle. We've got to be very careful about selling the paddle.
Prediction for Saturday, Chris.
Prediction for Saturday. I think we'll draw down there.
You think we're going to get a draw?
1-0. Yeah.
Dave.
1-0 defeat, I'm afraid, mate.
Do you know what? I hate to say it, but you're seldom very wrong.
I know.
You're seldom very
Been
wrong.
getting me doubles up week in, week out.
Do you know what? I'm going to go for a slight Boro win because I'm touching wood, I'm touching everything.
6-0?
I'm hoping Brit's going to be back to get the winner. Anyway, join us next week. Thanks, fellas. Join us next week on Red Army TV.